Nice to meet you, General, and thank you. Thanks for coming in this autumn season, especially not winter or summer season. And I don't have much background, military side or political side, but based on my major and international trading side, also related for the defense industry. One question is that 1 week ago, Egypt government proposed Middle East NATO-style Arab United Army to make a similar role in a NATO facility or unit in Middle East. But 10 years ago, it was a failure. But
I didn't get you. Sorry.
A week ago.
So a couple of weeks ago, Egypt has proposed an Arab military.
Oh yeah. Okay. I missed the word Egypt. I didn't hear it. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Korean style English. But 10 years ago, it was the same proposal.
Exactly.
It was
even before.
It was failure because of a lot of political issue and military issue. Mix it. But instead of create new operating system, why don't you try to apply official NATO member? Maybe it's looks like impractical, but if Egypt join NATO member, it can.
You mean part of NATO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it looks like
or Arab NATO, you mean?
No,
it's the biggest NATO.
It's better to use. It's a very student creative idea, but just imaginary. If Egypt join NATO, the same it's a statue as a Turkey competitor military industry. So once join Egypt NATO member, all those funding from Europe, it will go to the capital to Egypt because you have to tell NATO.
But I have an answer to you. Please.
I will finish the question.
Please.
Once joined, then Korea military industry will be poor and invest in Egypt instead of Europe, because Europe, they cannot produce BMW tank, as you say. It's too expensive and take the time. So much expensive. But our competitor is Poland. They are building same industry compared to Albania of labor or rent. So, but Poland is more expensive than Egypt to produce one tank. So,
exactly. So
if Korea, a lot of industry invest, once joined the NATO, I know it's already Egypt is a cooperation member of NATO, but maybe go even deeper inside, then it can guarantee kind of credit. So all Japanese, or Korean, or European, or US military investment will be increased. And smart labor also pouring to your country to make it build industrial power. Because I know one thing, I don't know about Middle East, but
So that's it, the answer.
Egypt,
do not forget.
Egypt, something different. Once established different industry, it can sell to Africa, it can sell to Europe, it can sell to Middle East.
You're right. Let me divide one by one. First of all,
shall we collect separate questions first?
one by one. If you don't know, I will make it very brief. And please try to make the question short to save your time. First of all, I'm visiting professor to NATO. So joining NATO is not decision of a country. It's decision of every country of NATO, separately. Everyone. Like if United States, for example, does not accept Finland, it will never be. This is what happened. Turkey towards Finland and Sweden. So they have to ask for it. And the NATO system is based on what? That NATO is for European countries, mainly. It must be European countries. Only, as you are aware, Canada and Turkey are outside Europe, but this is for specific geostrategic reasons. However, and remember, does Egypt want to be a member of NATO? I don't know, but if it is possibilities that Egypt can apply, to be a member of NATO, we need, in this case, I think, 7 years. And will we accept the conditions or not? Why? They will give you about 4 to 5 years to reforming. like military, political, economic, social, to convert from non-democratic or partial democratic to full democratic society. Second, 2 years as observer to NATO and then to be member of NATO. So it's not easy like that, but I don't know, as Said, if you are a member of NATO, but who can allow to do that? Second, yes, I agree with you 100% that really Egypt is one of the best location. You know what I call Egypt in my book, for example, in English, I called it the strategic backbone, geostrategic backbone. Not the backbone of the Middle East, but the geostrategic. Geostrategically, it has very good position because of the Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea. If I talk about combined forces, this is the Arab forces, really, if it should be a good idea, but you are military, right? You are military, yeah. As maybe you are unit commander or sub-unit commander and you can understand more what I mean. When you decide to build up any alliance of forces, you have to have who are the enemy, who are the enemies, which are the threats. In this case, do you think Israel will be the enemy to all Arab countries? No, right? Iran will be the enemy to all Arab countries. I'm trying to tell you the challenges really can confront this type of idea because interests of Arab countries cannot be gathered like interests of European countries. See, European countries not the same language, not the same origin, not the same culture, I mean nations, not the same religion, not, but at the same time they could gather their common interests together. In Arab region, it's really difficult to do that. I hope I could answer your question.
Very wonderful.
Yeah.
Because there are, maybe at the end, we have some time.
Okay, if we have time. Yes, thank you.
So, any other questions?
Yes, please. I was very motivated like you. I was very motivated like you when I was measuring.
Thank you for the chance.
Like that. Yes, please.
First, thank you so much for your insightful lecture. I really enjoyed it and learned many things.
Thank you so much.
I'm Yeonjeon and I'm currently in master's degree in Middle East and African studies, especially studying African politics. You briefly mentioned about the situation in Africa, and I love to hear more about it. Recently, Western African countries such as Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have formed the alliances of Sahel states, AES, in opposition to ECOWAS. In this context, France's influence has declined while Russia's presence has been expanding. How do you foresee the balance of power among global actors evolving in Africa under these circumstances? Do you think these dynamics will resemble the shifts we have seen in the Middle East? And thank you once again.
I didn't get the most point.
So, we're talking about the influence of France.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, the question would be about what we...
What is the question exactly? How I foresee what?
The balance of power among global actors evolving in Africa under these circumstances.
Okay. Did you notice something? That in Syria, please, when you, because you study Africa, and this part especially, please try to concentrate in the Middle East. I'll tell you why, especially in Syria, as I told you. Have you noticed something? That the Syrian regime, for the current interim government, for the first time, they declared they would like to get Bashar al-Assad back to the country. Who is the most beneficial of that? Whom you think? It's not this, just I'm thinking with you. Macron. You know why? And I think Macron is behind this. He's pushing Al-Julani, Ahmad al-Shara to ask this. Because if I have one of two choices as Putin now, it's something like what? If you want to stay in Syria, in Hamimim and Tartus, with your military base, he's now Ahmad Shara talking to Putin, right? You have only one choice, to give us Bashar al-Assad. So any option of both very good for Macron, and what's related to your question, that if he withdraw his forces, not to give Ahmad Shara, what is the benefit? That I will withdraw my forces, but I keep my reputation that I'm protecting the leaders of dictator regimes, right? And if I wanted to keep my military bases in Syria and give them Bashar al-Assad, then I will lose my credibility of the leaders which I support. So both are good to Macron. And then the leader of Burkina Faso, the leader of Niger, the leader of Mali will never trust Putin anymore. Because this will be our destiny, right? Our fate. So we will go back to Macron again and come back with your influence. That's why, if you want really to know, to have to watch Putin and Macron now, what they are doing everywhere, not only in Africa, as you mentioned, these 4 countries, but also in the Middle East and even in Europe. That's why you will find France is very aggressive against Russia in Europe. It's not only to revenge, but I want, as Macron, that Putin to lose his face, to lose his power, to lose his influence everywhere. Because when he loses it here and there, it will come to Africa, which I need the uranium and other things. Do you agree with that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I will listen to you, my dear friend. I promise. Yeah. Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for your insightful presentation.
Can I know where you're from? Because I didn't meet you before I started.
I'm from Germany, and I'm
Germany.
currently an exchange student
Yeah.
here. And I was wondering if you think there's a realistic chance of having stability in the Middle East, and what steps would need to be achieved to eventually get there?
Okay, I will be very honest with you, very straightforward, but it's my own opinion, I don't know. First of all, Palestinian cause, this 2-state solution, because really it must be helped. It must, okay, details are something else. How to do that is something else, right? But Palestinian cause really is very, very important. Second, Arab states, all Arab states, have to think of development, common interest, not only common threat. What is, if you notice, most of you are European or Korean, or mainly, let me say it as so-called by some strategists, Western camp, right? So what is the main difference between Western camp and Eastern camp? Eastern camp here, when I say Russia, Iran, Venezuela, China maybe, and some other countries, that you believe in alliances, and alliances mainly based on common interests, followed by common threats. But the Eastern camp believe more in common threats. The difference between alliances on common threats and alliances on common interests, that align on common interests long term, very long term. Alliance on common threats, very short term. Maybe you are my enemy today, but you will be my ally tomorrow. So we have to think that how to have really common interests, not always common threats. Also, I think to have peace in our region, stability in our region, we have to think. I think all the Arab countries, some of them, they start to do that. I'm telling you frankly. Wallahi, not because I'm coming from UAE, but I think they adopted what I will say, or at least most of the 9 elements of good governance. The first 3 elements of good governance: transparency, bridging, accountability. Transparency and bridging coming from up to down. Like here in Korea, by the way, like most of all of your countries here, they try to be transparent with the people, try to be bridging with the people. And then accountability is coming from down to up. That because you show your strategy, national security strategy, United States, of Korea, blah, 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 then you people, you can, talk to the governments. Why didn't you do that? You have to do that. And the fourth one, long-term strategies. I think if the whole Arab states at least adopt these 4 elements of good governance, so stability will come much quicker. People will be very happy. Look at Korea. I didn't study Korea that much like you, but look at Korea after Second World War. The leader was military background like me, and I think he is described by us that he was a big dictator, but we call him good dictator, He could take the country from a place to another, and now you continue this way. You can punish your president, you can punish your parliament, even parliament who are representing you, you can punish them, you can punish the government. So when we have this is the difference between two things, by the way, as you are students. The narrow angle of democracy and the wide angle of democracy. Narrow angle of democracy, every country all over the world, they have narrow angle of democracy, which is election, 3 authorities, right, and blah, blah, blah. But the wider, which is not democratic country, democratic society. Not democratic government, I'm sorry, democratic society. Like when I see queue, I go to the queue not to find a friend to help me to exceed the queue and go to do whatever I want, right? So this is the democratic society. I think we need to change our mentality, even as people, to think better of our life, not only governors. So this is my personal opinion, actually, in brief. Yeah.
So it will take a very long time, it seems.
Yeah, it will take a long time, yeah. But it will happen, inshallah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insightful, inspirational this forum. My name is Kim Byung-woo, and I'm in the Department of Middle East. I want to ask a question about the people of Arab world. While there are many people who say there are many differences between Arab governments and Arab regimes, I think regarding the people of the Arab countries, they are very united, especially when it comes to certain aspects, certain issues. Just for example, Palestinian issue, I think. So, as a people, do you, in the upcoming future of the Middle East, do you think what role do you want your people to take? And I want to know your vision about the people of Arab countries and how Korean people can help Arab people to achieve